with the mic on. That's the title, not talk over record.
We did some great links during the ads.
Yeah. And, of course, Jonathan Ross, masturbating. Live on air.
Just looking back at some of the highlights of
You
this
don't get
week's
that
show.
on Capital Gold, do you? Like Tony Blackburn getting a call from Fluff Freeman going, alright mate, I'm knocking one out.
Yeah.
Well, have a lovely Christmas.
Have a bloody great Christmas,
Have
mate.
a bloody great Christmas. It's the best of next week.
Yep.
The best of the last few weeks.
Yeah.
With some tat, you know, Carl's put together.
We're
Look
back in
forward to that.
January.
We're playing some of our favourite songs of the year.
I'm
next
looking
week.
forward to seeing, Pilker's tan and
Pilker's
pictures from his holiday.
covered in ash from the beach.
Yeah.
And we're back on the 3rd, I believe. But Ian, do you want to introduce one? This is Ian's choice for the day.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week in spirit, and then we're back on the 3rd with Pilkers. Over to you, Kampf.
Yeah, enough of Jonah Louis. This is Paul Di'Anno, ex of Iron Maiden, doing Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Oh, that's them Red Hot Chili Peppers, and they can't stop. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and Carl Pilkington. You're listening to XFM 104.9. Coming through today, it's noisy again out there.
It's a nightmare.
A lot of people marching up and down.
What's that about?
Well, from what I can work out, there's hundreds of them, millions of them, and they're all shouting really loudly. What do we want? Peace. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Peace. I want to go, shush.
Yeah,
We all want a bit of peace on a Saturday.
Yes.
Keep it down.
Please, I can barely hear myself think.
I know. And he's not listening. Tony's not listening. He can't hear from there.
You may as well give up. He's not listening. There was 1 million of you last time. It didn't do anything.
Hey, but Steve, there's no attitude. You know what? I couldn't find Boy George's War is Stupid, so here's a bit of Dylan. Bob Dylan. The times, they are a-changing.
The thing is, Rick, it makes me wonder if the times, are they changing? I mean, it seems to me that life's pretty much the same as it was way back in the 60s when Bob Dylan wrote that song.
Got any idea what you're talking about?
No idea whatsoever,
You
Rick.
don't really know about politics, do
No,
you?
know anything about it. Don't even read the papers. Got no interest, really.
Yeah.
Not particularly informed. My life's cushy. Won some awards and stuff. Doesn't bother me. So,
On a
good
serious
luck to
note,
everyone.
though, it is a bit worrying. I want somebody to put on my... Do I have to get gas masks or something?
No,
What's
because there are guys out there in Leicester Square today wearing novelty hats. If they don't sort this war out, then no one can.
Okay, well, I'm not talking about it.
You would worry about it.
I would worry about it.
Well, you, maybe Steve.
Why?
Sort of people who are successful are worrying about it more than other people. Just
Go
because,
on.
well, they've got more to lose, haven't they?
Right.
No, do you know what I mean? You see, like, Bruce Willis on the telly saying, oh, it's not good, is it? And it's because he's got a big house and loads of cars. If you live, you know, on a council estate, it's like, well, if it gets bombed, probably doing us all a favour, we'll get nice new blocks of flats to live in and that. It happened with Manchester, with the bomb that happened, and they bombed the Arndale Centre. Did us a favour. Got a nice new Marks and Spencers and that.
So hold on, this puts a whole new twist to the argument when people say bombing the world's poorest countries is wrong. Because I remember when the Afghan problem was on, people were saying bombing the world's poorest country is wrong, but it's like home improvement, according to you, then.
Yeah. Because they've got a brand new B&Q, have they, over there? They're popping down there every Sunday.
Anyway, let's not go on about it, 'cause...
Whoa, think what you're saying.
Yeah, I know.
My family was killed, but look, a carpet warehouse.
Yeah.
Do you know, I think, you know, people don't want to hear about this today from us. They want to hear, you know, the new features, the songs of phrase.
What song's a phrase?
It's the feature we started last week,
Yeah,
where we take clips of songs, we make up a phrase from the show.
I mean, a famous phrase, last week's world famous phrase was, there's this airy Chinese kid,
Yeah.
you'll remember.
Yes.
Well, it was called Crosswords last week, but Phil emailed in a good suggestion and
Right.
said call it Songs of Phrase.
Songs of
Brilliant.
phrase. Songs of phrase, but perfect.
So
Have
we'll
we
use that.
are we still going with cheapest chimps?
We're persevering with that, aren't we?
Got some cheapest chimps lined up. We'll be
Yeah.
doing that before 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Great.
Again, who else can say that?
So good. So for the next 2 hours, everyone should just bury their head in the sand, ignore the world's problems, and enjoy features such as Cheapest Chimps and Songs of Phrase.
And a bit of cheering breaks.
Oh, class.
Oh. Trying to stop suddenly in Italy. TB. Turing breaks. It's like a rockbuster, Carl.
The good old days.
I know, yeah. Painkiller. on XFM 104.9. But look, Rockbusters is gone. Forget Rockbusters. Long live Songs of Phrase. Over to you, Carl.
Alright, well...
You know, Rockbusters was one of the things they were protesting about last time. that was why I just had to listen to them. They just kept stopping me in the street as I was trying to get to the tube. You've got to stop Rockbusters, it's run out of steam, they said, and I'm glad.
That's why they always do it on a Saturday.
Yeah.
They make their way to Leicester Square for 3 o'clock.
Yeah. Right.
Songs of Phrase. What it is...
Songs of Phrase.
We took a phrase from the show last week. It was, there's this airy Chinese kid, right? Today, we're going back to the good old line of, about you never see an old man eating a Twix.
Sure.
Right?
How long is that?
No, you'll never see an old man eating a Twix.
You'll never see an old man eating a Twix.
It's not as many as you think, though. It's not that many.
Well, how is it not that many?
Right, well, first of all, anyway, don't worry about that. I think there's about 5, I think. Hang on a minute.
Oh, God. Why do we leave him alone to do this,
I don't
Steve?
understand.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'll tell you what, we were flying them.
Six different songs.
6 different songs.
That's a lot to get, Carl.
But what happened is, I couldn't find a song with Twix, so we've changed the chocolate.
Oh, this is rubbish. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. No, you've got to be punished. We're not doing this. Do it next
no,
week.
you'll like it.
No, shut up, Carl. No, just
Well,
start no, we're
He's
not
put a
doing
lot
it.
of effort in.
So what?
You're right.
He's got to do it right. He's got to do it right.
Yeah.
There's too many. We said too many. It's not. He's changed the thing. It's not a one of those. It's ridiculous. It's
If
absolutely
only,
pointless.
Rick, if only his parents had spoken like that to him sometimes in the past,
Do you know what I
maybe
mean?
we wouldn't
Right.
be in this discussion
You're not
now.
doing
Oh,
it.
come on.
No, we're not doing it. Steve, what do you think?
I'll tell you, we've got the prizes, but
Yeah.
I'm not even going to bother giving. I'm not even going to
no,
bother.
no,
I think we'll just share it out amongst
Right.
homeless.
Absolutely. No. There's troubles in the world, and I'm not going to let you faff around doing nonsense like that.
Well,
It's ridiculous.
Well, let's do it for
No,
this
let's
week.
play a beautiful song. What do you think?
I'd love to hear a great song.
Yeah, the times they are changing. We've said that. Look at
Rick, I'm
Mother
beginning to wonder
Nature
if it's
on the run. Look at Mother Nature on the run, Steve.
Yeah.
Play it.
So we're not doing...
No.
It's your own fault.
Neil Young.
Beautiful.
After the Gold Rush, one of the most beautiful, poignant songs ever. I
Great
think.
lyrics in that. Look at Mother Nature on the run in the 1970s. Forget the 1970s, Rick. I'm beginning to wonder if that's just as truthful nowadays in the year
I've told you
2003.
before, you've got no idea, you don't know anything about the world or politics, so
I don't know why you persist.
I don't know why I keep saying it myself, Rick. I'm a political incompetent. I don't know why I keep spouting on with this drivel.
Right.
It's The Guardian, I think, that's doing it to me. It's all second-hand information. I just read it in there, and I just
So it
think
was a good idea to
I
get
keep
on
thinking,
the-
exactly. I keep
Get on
thinking
the
I can pass it
bandwagon.
off.
You don't
Yeah.
really care, do you, about anything in the world, really, as long as it doesn't affect you?
I haven't exactly.
Yeah.
Unless I'm
No.
personally affected by these
Yeah.
things, I don't care less.
Well, I'm the same. Now, Carl, the big question, as we know at the moment, is whether we're going to let you do Songs of Phrase or not.
Rich, I should tell you
What's going
now,
on?
there has been a flood of... Oh, no, there hasn't. Sorry, I was thinking there'd been a flood of emails, but it was people agreeing with you, Rick.
I know Tony Blair has been trying to get through.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just checking the emails now. There's absolutely nothing supporting you,
So
Carl.
no one gives a side either way about
No, well, no,
that,
that's not
then?
fair. There were a couple of phone calls, weren't there? One was a guy saying he should. I think the other one was you, Carl. Was it phoning from the kitchen?
Can we do it? Can we do it? Right.
No.
If you don't like it, we won't do it next week, but,
But
the fact that I've made it...
I don't know I you did that. I thought of lots of stuff you could do. You chose one where you have to have 10 words and 6 songs to choose. You haven't got Twix. I don't know what you've substituted Twix for.
Okay, I mean, I've got to say now, I'm going to sit on the fence, so I'm quite intrigued.
Okay, right.
to hear it.
What have you substituted Twix for?
Well, I can't tell you.
Of course you can.
No, I can't, because people have to listen to it and work out.
All right, let's just hear it. Let's hear it then.
No. They know what they have to know what the word is. They have to tell what the song is or the
I
artist.
prefer just to play it.
No, you've got to tell them what it is because they might not even know what word they're
I think
looking
you should
for.
just let's hear him out, Rick.
Right.
Please,
Right.
democracy. That's what we're fighting for. Come on.
Right, you turn them up.
Right. Okay, I'll put the headphones on. Go on then.
Okay, so right, hang on. The phrase originally was
Is, you never see an old man eating a Twix.
right, and we're trying to identify a number of songs which you've used to make up that phrase.
And you email in xfm.co.uk/wiki with as many as you can get, and whoever gets the most right can win
It's
some
so
stuff.
complicated. This is
It's
so
not.
complicated.
Right, here we go. Here we
I'm
go.
baffled by the email address. I couldn't figure
What's
that
the
out.
email address again?
xfm.co.uk/wiki.
Right.
Right?
And there's some link on there, is there? That,
Yeah, that you
right.
just press and it comes through this and that. Right, here we go then, right?
Well, I missed a little bit at the end. Let's hear it again. Let's hear it again.
Mars, ba, ba, ba.
Let's hear it again. Oh no!
Oh, God! Okay. Right, we'd say the prizes, Steve.
Right. So, how many songs were there? Do we know?
I think there was 6.
You think there was 6?
And you'll never see an old man eat. Oh, it might be 5.
5 or 6.
Yeah.
Anyway, why not email in the answers and how many there were, and you might be in with a chance of winning on DVD the original series of Citizen Smith with Robert Lindsay. That was good. Paul Whitehouse's Happiness, the first series of that, on DVD. We've also got a couple of CDs here. The Best of Britpop, Live Forever, Oasis, Blur, Radiohead, and all the rest of them
That's
on there.
alright.
Supergrass's current album as well.
That's
I
alright.
think it's a current album. Yeah, it is. And
Okay.
less convinced by this one. If I tell you that some of the artists include Delamitri and Deacon Blue, then I know you'll be rushing out later, Rick, to buy this. Scotland Rocks. A compilation of...
Is Wet on there?
let's see.
What
the
about
Wets-
Biss? What happened to Biss?
Let me see, I'm not gonna... I'll tell you, it doesn't... I mean, we've got Gun on there.
Oh, yeah.
We've got
baby, lately.
Aztec Camera.
Yeah.
Big Country, obviously.
Proclaimer's not on there.
Wait a minute, where's Runrig? There they are. There they are. And obviously Rafferty, Baker Street. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Brilliant.
So that's definitely worth entering for, surely.
So xfm.co.uk/Ricky. Play it one more time.
Yeah.
Just in, right.
Class. Pure class. Well done. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go to
Oasis. Stop Crying Your Heart Out on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Stephen Merchant and Carl Pilkington. Carl's competition is in full swing now. I just will remind you, when playing songs of phrase and trying to guess the songs and artists, what do you want, songs or artists?
I think songs is better.
Yeah,
Alright.
but that's ambiguous, isn't it, what a song title is? Where
Yeah, I
if you
think
know
it should
the
be
artist,
artists, definitely.
maybe the artist that cleans it up really. Yeah?
Yeah.
Should we do
Artists.
Okay, you know, if they know what it is, because that'd stop any ambiguity, won't it? And don't worry if you haven't got all of them, because the winner last week didn't have all of them, but it's the closest one. I understand when you're trying to guess what's in Carl's mind, you can only get so close.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He wants us to bring in Darren Brown. He go, because he won't be able to read my mind. And
Yeah.
I think he's right.
I think he might
I
be.
think he's the one person that could outwit Darren Brown.
Yeah.
Now, moving on, Carl.
Well,
we have to.
should we just play it very quickly? Just play again.
Just if
Carl's
you're in case you
competition?
want to join in. Go on then, one more time. Here it is, songs of phrase. Because you have to get, you know, it is very difficult. So, you know, song or artist, we'd give points if you're close to any of those, and we'll choose a winner. So, you know, do
And what do points mean? Crap prizes.
XFM
xfm.co.uk
slash
Ricky.
Ricky. Right now, we got people to send in a little thing for you last week, didn't we? The film Freaks.
A
You
little
got a few.
treat.
You got a few sent in. You watched it, did you?
Yeah.
Now, I should just point out that the film Freaks, for those that don't know, was a movie that was released, I think, in the... Well, actually, it was originally made in about 1932, something like that, and then it was
Banned for
delayed.
about
It was
50
banned
years.
for many years, because it did, in actual fact, feature, for want of a better phrase, real-life freaks.
Yeah.
Bearded ladies being one of the more kind of familiar
There's
ones.
a guy
and
without
there's
arms and
a guy without
legs.
arms, there's all sorts. And it was actually it's quite a tender film, isn't it? And actually portrays them as a kind of dysfunctional family. It's not exploitative in that sense. But what do you make of it, Carl?
Well, you were watching it for the Freaks, weren't you?
Yeah. I mean, I wish it does take a while to get onto it.
What do you mean?
Well, straight away I was disappointed, right? Because at the start, like, you put it in, it's like, oh, brilliant. Here we go, you know, I said to Suzanne, we'll watch this, we'll have a good night.
Yeah. Have a romantic night.
That's it, her birthday. You've got your gloves, now we're going to watch some Freaks.
So, put it on, and it starts off, and it's like, you know, the following film, you think, oh, it's like following films rated 15, which means, you know, might contain scenes of violence, bad language and sex.
Yeah.
Mentioned nothing about pinheads.
Right.
So I thought they missed a trick there.
Yeah.
to be honest, right? So I thought, well, let's go and watch it.
And what exactly is a pinhead?
Oh, if you've seen it, you know.
Okay.
Right, so not the best thing in it either. So
Oh.
imagine that.
Okay, so you're watching it.
So sat there, I think, right, something comes on, and the little fella's on there, the little fella we were talking about, the Pillow Man.
Right.
Is it the best thing in it?
Now, what's the Pillow Man again?
He's a fella who years ago, he's got no arms and legs.
Right. He's
And
just a torso.
Just
and a
rolls,
head.
yeah. And there's a scene where you see him sort of rolling a cigarette up, just using his mouth, and it's
Yeah.
like he lights it and stuff. And that's weird. And then what else is on it?
Smoking stench of growth.
And then there's a little fella on it who is fed up because he looks 5, but he's actually 34.
Right.
Right? But there's a woman who is 42 and looked 8. So they both had the opposite thing. They were both really fed up. And I kind of thought that shows that, you know, you always want what someone else has got.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So in
yeah.
a way, there's a story there
Yeah.
in that.
No, you described the same there.
No, it was like,
No, they both. You just said they both looked young, but they are actually both older.
no. This was like a little man
Yeah, who was
looked-
35
who was 35.
and looked 8,
Yeah.
and so did she.
No, well, the other way round then.
What? So she was an 8-year-old that looked 35?
Yeah. So, oh, maybe not then.
Anyway.
No.
But that wasn't that weird. I kind of thought it's a slow start on that.
Yeah.
And then,
It's not a difficult film to follow.
No.
yeah, but I wasn't really listening to what it's all about, just looking at what they had. And they had like a fella who's running about on just,
Ed, like he was shopping.
you know, they had a fella with no legs and he's running about on his hands and sort of got about on a skateboard, talking to someone about it. They said that's how E.T. was done. There's actually a little fella in E.T.
Right.
who's just half of, sort of half a body.
Is that true?
I've no idea. I've never heard that
Why
before.
haven't we heard that before?
I've never heard that before.
I don't think he would fit in E.T. Because he's
I
got
think-
no. Because where's the head? He's got no neck. E.T. It's a skinny little thing. There's a human neck couldn't fit in that skinny little neck.
Well,
You sure it wasn't Kenny Baker up to his old tricks?
What are you talking about, Carl? There's a fella with no legs in E.T.
in E.T. they had two fellas, right? I think they had a little, a midget fella,
Right.
who did it, and then I think he was off sick, and they were like, oh, you know, what else are we gonna do?
So they saw a guy on a skateboard going by.
And said, do you fancy some work?
Right.
And he's done it. I think someone told me, I mean, it might be wrong.
Exactly.
Might be wrong.
He might be, mightn't he? I mean, you've never been wrong before, so I don't know why you'd be wrong there.
What
So
else
what's the
was in it?
worst thing in it?
Now, it's intriguing to me because here's a film called Freaks, featuring real-life freaks, and you're sort of a bit nonplussed by it.
Just because it wasn't, because it's built up. If you call a video Freaks, you've got to make sure that there's some good stuff on there.
Yeah.
What were you disappointed about? Was it that?
Because there was a few things on it, right? There was a woman who said she was half man, half woman, and it's like, well, you're not, are you? It was just like she had some makeup on. I thought, well, that's rubbish. And then there was a woman who could eat using her feet. That isn't that freaky. Do you know what I mean? She's not hungry. She looks normal. And that's when I was thinking. I mean, I'm not being right, Steve. You know, I'm not being funny.
Oh, here we go.
No. But I'm just saying. If that woman wasn't eating and you were sat next to her in that film,
Yeah.
I'd probably be sort of drawn to you more than her. I'm not. I know you hate me saying it, but there's no point sort of pretending. Do you know what I mean?
Oi, Nutley, what are you sniggering about?
The face. Well, you mean there were things in it that were less. What are you saying?
I'm just saying.
Play a record. Seriously, I'll slap you. I'm going to slap you live on air.
Yeah, but you always get.
I'm slapping you live on air. I swear to God.
Alright, play a song then.
It's playing a song.
Bruce Springsteen, Atlantic City from the album Nebraska.
So melancholy, that one. I love that one. Wow. So Freaks then. All in all, not as amazing as you first hoped.
It was built up too much. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
It's like
Is that
films.
is that my fault for getting you excited? I just can't
Probably.
believe it. I hand you this thing on a plate. So
I know,
you're-
but-
yeah.
And I'm not being out of order, Steve. I'm
Sure.
just being honest.
Sure.
We've always said that about this show. We
Yeah,
only talk
yeah.
about stuff, you know,
Yeah.
that, you know, being honest and that.
Yeah, no, sure.
And I've always said the first time I saw you.
Sure, no, you've always been honest,
Do you
and
know
I've
what I
always
mean?
been honest with you. I've always said that, you know, you've got the intelligence and insight of a gnat.
Yeah, but if I keep quiet, people don't know that.
Sure.
Alright, don't get...
Incredibly they do, Carl, because you look stupid as well.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
No, but Carl was being nice then. You don't...
I'm just saying you're a good bloke, and now I've got to know you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
The first time was weird when I saw
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
No,
And
leave
then-
it. Don't just try to interrupt. Just let it go.
No,
right.
I'm just saying
Okay.
the first time
Yeah.
it was weird and that, and then weeks go by.
And you- okay.
And the weird thing is, I kind of thought maybe he's not that odd looking.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And then you went to LA for 3 weeks.
Sure.
And when you came back, it was like the first time again.
Right,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
No, I just-
Yeah.
Okay, wait, no, stop it now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right, everyone
but-
stop it now.
That
No,
doesn't-
but I just think I'm a little bit more consistent, because I've
No,
always thought you were an idiot.
I don't want this. Don't argue. It was just... Okay.
No, I just, you know, you know
Right.
what I mean? My opinion has
no,
never changed. I've
no.
always thought you're an idiot.
No, it's
that's
just
been a
all
through line.
nice. Let's look. Peace.
Shut
not
up,
war.
Fatso.
Peace, not war.
He's just such a stirrer, isn't he?
No,
He loves it. I don't think I didn't see you whispering behind the microphone about what to say to
Look what
Carl.
I've just drawn, Carl, subconsciously.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I drew a picture of him that's going to be on the website.
Stop being on the website.
No, it's going to be. I drew a little cartoon of him. No, not yours. I'll do one of Carl. Right, okay. What are we talking about? That was a...
So yeah, no, the
Touchy
Freaks thing,
moment.
it's over and done with. It was alright if you want to get it out on video.
Sure.
You know, it's probably worth a look. There's a couple of things on there that get you thinking more, you know, it's like how their life is and stuff, do you know what I mean? How it's affected, and like the little pillow man, or the fella who's got half of his body missing.
Yeah.
You know, it's stuff like that you think, oh.
But what's the one that was disappointing? You said it was a half man, half woman.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that one.
Do you mean hermaphrodite or half? I can't remember it. Do you mean it was one sort of like it had bits of both?
It was just like half a face done in makeup and long hair, then on the other side it had it shaved.
I love the idea that you go to this circus and there's people in there that have been sort of persecuted all their life, and they think, well, maybe I can make some money, and then you boo them because they're not freakish enough. I love the idea they go, boo, you're not freakish enough, boo. Oh, you've got bits of legs, boo. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but there was, I mean, talking about that, you see, why did they join the circus and that? Because there are things they can do. I was telling you in the week that I was reading something on some news website about some sort of Olympic-style games where they're going to see, like, disabled people against able-bodied.
Right.
Uh,
Let's be careful here, shall we?
no, I'm just saying, though.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So there is other things. It doesn't mean just because you haven't got legs you can't do other stuff.
Yeah.
And in this race, there's, like, disabled people who are beating able-bodied people.
Yeah.
I mean,
what?
Would you go and see that? I don't know.
But I mean, it depends. What do you mean? They're beating them? What? At what?
He didn't state what the little races were and that.
Little races. Can't
help himself, can he?
No, little races. Oh look, there's the disabled with their little races.
Yeah, having another little race.
Oh dear.
Would you go? Would you go and watch that?
Do you remember when Jimmy thought that Paralympics stood for Paraplegic Olympics?
The Paralympics.
Yeah, it means parallel Olympics.
Yeah.
He thought it meant paraplegic Olympics. That would be a good site, wouldn't it? Mainly blow football.
Right.
Right. Okay. So, what was that thing I told you to look up in the week?
You were saying, I don't believe you. You were going on about, we were talking about the half man, half woman,
Yeah.
and you were saying,
You can get a sex change on the NHS just to see what you say about that. Did you look it up?
I didn't, because I think I was wasting my time. I don't think you
I'm
can
giving
have
all
that done.
these things. Little play
Interesting
records.
stuff.
You're annoying
No,
me
but
now.
you wouldn't do that. You do. You see,
You've
it's the
annoyed,
other thing
you've
we were
annoyed
talking about.
Steve. You've annoyed Steve on air.
I'm sorry about that.
Well, it's just too late, Carl.
But we were talking about other stuff as well. I mean, you know, talking about operations and that. You were saying, you know, can you have a sex change done on the NHS and that?
No, you can.
Well, you say you can. I think that's a bit... It's not that important to have done, I don't think.
Well, it depends if you desperately want it. It depends if you feel that you're born actually a different sex.
Right? And then you went on to say there's other things that are done. Get this, Steve. Someone, if the cat's got a bad liver,
Kidney.
right, bad kidney, can have it done for £5,000.
Yeah, you can have a kidney operation.
But what's wrong with that? If you've got £5,000 you want to waste it on a cat, then fine.
Get another one. We went through loads of cats, I've told you before, as a kid, we got through loads. It's not worth it, and there's no cat that is that amazing that you'd go, gonna miss that one, it's never gonna be the same, because
What do you mean? What would it have to be able to do to be worth it? Like, it's normally to do with people's affection for their cat. They've had the pet for many years. What do you mean? It should be able to juggle or
No,
do
just-
impressions, and that's why it's worth £5,000?
Supposing there was a fella, right? He feels he was born a woman. He's not happy, right? He doesn't want this he's got a knob and a couple of testicles that he does not want, right? He wants a lovely pair of tits and a minge, right? And he finds out that he gets a cut price. He gets, you know, a cut price sort of operation, a dodgy backstreet transsexual maker, right? £5,000, knockdown price £5,000. It's done with a blunt knife and some chloroform, right? But
why have you got to have it all done?
what? You mean just like have the knob trimmed and wear a bra?
Well, yeah, I mean, are you saying if you have it all done you get some sort of offer, if you give them something?
No, I was being flippant. I'm saying I was trying to get down to £5,000. Supposing there was a fella, he had £5,000 to give away, right? Some old woman with her cat is going to die, or some fella who wants his knob chopped off and a lovely pair of tits put on. Who would you give the £5,000 to?
So, hang on a minute, so there's a fella who wants to be a
Jesus.
woman,
Yeah,
and there's a woman who's got an ill cat.
yeah.
You see, I'd be annoyed. Is this £5,000? Is this my savings, or...?
No, you get given £5,000, and you go, but you've got to give it to a charity of your choice, and it's got to be one of them. You give them
Right, I'll tell you
£5,000.
what I'd do.
What?
I'd find out what the cat looks like, get a replacement, right? Say it's had the op. She's loving it, thinking it's happy again.
Yeah.
Give the fella the money.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, so you're basically saying that you'd rather have the bloke have his knob cut off and stuff.
I'd have to have a chat with him first and say, what's your problem? And say, why do you need this doing? And
I think they go through that. I think they go to counselling and live
Just
as a
check.
woman for
like a second opinion thing. I'd just be saying, right, are you sure?
yeah.
But £5,000 on a cat, even, it can only be for people who have got loads of money, right? And it's like, well, £5,000, it's nothing.
Well, I think this debate will rage on. Should we play a record and come back to this? Think about it, though.
Yeah. Bit of White Stripes.
Placebo. Bitter End on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and Carl Pilkington. Carl, you're looking all flustered and confused again.
Still sort of don't get it.
What don't you get?
Well, that's a long list, Rick.
Yeah.
The, you know, if you have your...
Knob cut off.
Yeah.
It's because they feel like they're actually born a woman, and they're not living right. They can't live properly with all these things, you know. Well, I mean, there are people that are genetically the other gender. They've just grown, you know. There was one woman actually who was a scientist researching it and found out genetically she was a man. She had Y chromosomes, etc. But this is something different. This is both psychological and everything
Well,
else.
sometimes it's that thing again, isn't it? You can't always have, you know, what you want. It's like, I'd like to have hair. Do you know what I mean?
But it's a bit easier. You can wear a wig. You can't go round really. Well, you can put on, you know, but false breasts and tuck it in.
That's just it as well, isn't it? You see, you say, you know, you could have the operation done and that, and yeah, you might sort of feel as free as a woman down below and that, but at the end of the day, you still look like a fella.
Yeah, here's a bra and a split tennis ball.
No.
They'd be just like Auntie Nora.
Do you know what I mean, though?
Well, yeah, but it's about their outward appearance as well and how they feel publicly. Don't forget, a transsexual is not a transvestite. This isn't just a builder in a dress. They have the hormone replacement as well, so they get estrogen. So they and electrolysis. So they have, you know, their face looks different. They don't go bald. They're slighter. They you know what I mean? They're the real thing. A transsexual is now the real thing, biologically and politically and.
But they'll still be a man, won't they?
Well, it'd be embarrassing if they don't tell their new partner and there's pictures of them, you know, down the pub when they were 24, but you probably sort of get over that, don't you? Like, who's the fellow with the beard drinking the yard of ale? That was me.
Well, interesting story. Probably should have told you this before the honeymoon.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, you can have all that done, right? There's stuff, you know, you can have your bits done, right? You can have, like, false teeth, but you know that when you see an old person with a good set of teeth, it's like, well, they're false. There's no way you've got good teeth like that if you were brought up in, like, the 30s.
But what would you do if Suzanne said, look, I've got a terrible secret, and she showed you a picture of this kid, this little boy, growing up, you know, playing football, and then the pictures stop at 20, just before you met her, and she goes, and she shows you a nice pair of bollocks in a jar, she goes, they were mine.
Well, first thing is he'd take back the gloves he bought her last week.
Would you go, oh, I can't go out with you now? Or would you say, well, you're the same person? I've blown his mind.
That's frazzled him.
I really have freaked him out there.
She is into sport.
Eh? Should we play a record while you give her a call?
No, but look, what I'm saying is right, it doesn't matter what you have done. We can wrap this up here, because I've got it sorted, right?
Okay.
Doesn't matter what you have done, at the end of the day, it's obvious that you've had it done. If you're a fella and you've been changed to a woman, I could spot you, right? If...
You can't, though.
I tell you what, I was at Suzanne's mum and dad's, right, up north last week, and I went to the off licence, right?
Yeah.
And I went in there, never seen this fella before, right? Soon as I walk in, I eye him up behind the counter and go, alright, mate.
Oh, hello.
I notice he's got a wig on, right?
Yeah.
Now, it was... I kind of looked and I thought, yeah, it's a wig, whatever. And then I thought, I wonder if it is. And as I got to the till, I said, how much is that? He said, you know, 50 pence. I said, great. And as he turned to the till...
Were you buying Suzanne a gift?
As he turned to the till and he did that sort of angle, you got the profile, you see the bit sticking out of the back, you go, that's a wig.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. It's like a little. It just the last inch just lifts away from the neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, everybody who goes in that shop will probably know him as having a wig and that. He keeps him happy, but everybody knows. So, what I'm saying is, it's like...
But could I just say, transsexuals put in a little bit more effort than a fella who's plonked a rug on top and held it down with some duct tape. Do you know what I mean? You know, the only giveaway often with a transsexual is the big hands. They can't do anything about that. That's the only thing, you know.
Right,
But I mean, transvestites are different. You know, they are builders in the dress. You go in a supermarket, you turn around, you see a 6-foot woman, huge head. You go, all right, love. Do you know what I mean? You know, down below,
There you go.
she's packing more than us 3 put together.
That's what I'm saying.
But you know what I mean? That's one thing. If Eddie Izzard, right? You're meeting Eddie Izzard, right? Who likes to pop on a dress now and again, right? What's the politics with that? Do you go, as he walks in, he's all in evening gown, and he goes, all right, Carl, and you go, all right, Eddie, and it's in a busy pub, and you go, oh, what's he? And you go, do you say, do you want a pint of bitter, and slap him on the back like you would a mate, or do you go, that's lovely, that's a lovely dress? Do you know what I mean? What do you do? What do you do with a transvestite?
Would you compliment a transvestite
On their lovely dress?
if he was wearing a nice dress? In the same way that you would if Suzanne was wearing
Probably
a nice
in a
frock?
different way. I'd probably say, that dress, you know, looks nice. Be even nicer on a woman.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
So you try and change the way they think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd want to teach them a lesson.
Yeah.
Sure.
Anyway.
Yeah.
It's just, it's one of them things I can't get my head around, to be honest, right? I can handle hairy Chinese kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it true to say that you've never been able to handle a transvestite?
So I'm just going to add that to the list then, Carl, of things you can't figure out. It's like 4 volumes. Snoop Doggy Dogg, obviously, in the classic What's My Name?
Yes. XFM 104.9. We've done that, so that's good. We've done...
So we've solved the whole transvestism issue.
Yeah, let me just check. We've done hairy Chinese kids, people having their knobs cut off. I think
We've touched on the war as well, we've
we've
sorted
done
that out.
that. We've done freaks, haven't we? We've done freaks with no arms and legs, haven't we?
Take that.
Just don't think there's any other areas of possible offence.
Have we done Forrest Gump in a wheelie bin? Well, we touched on your Auntie Nora, but haven't mentioned her 5 minutes, or her showing you her
Clunge. Hold on, let me see. I don't know if we might have.
I'd definitely like to hear the word clunge more often
Yeah.
on this show.
Her Mary.
Oh,
Leave that,
euphemisms.
leave that.
Yeah.
I'm still not.
Mary.
I'm still none the wiser on that, but we'll leave it.
I love the fact you are such a you're such an old man, aren't you? You're such a reactionary old man, the way you talk. You are the sort of bloke, I imagine you and your father stood in a pub, if a man came in a dress, oi, you're a bloke in a dress, take it off.
We were
Or get out
talking,
the pub.
I realised it last week we were talking about things that you can sort of say and do when you're sort of like 40. I thought another one, nod to a policeman.
Yep, definitely.